Well, hello, 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 and welcome to The Difference Makers. We are here live on LinkedIn, we're here live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook. Welcome to our show. Today is one you don't want to miss. Whether you are in business or you are looking to start a business, you need to see what we have to share with you with our guest, law expert, Gina Campanella. You don't want to miss this. Get on your phones, get on your social media accounts, and let your friends and family know that if they have any legal questions, this is the time to ask. If they have questions about how to secure their legal content, how to ensure their intellectual property, they need to be here for this particular show. We're live. You can ask questions live. Definitely join us here on The Difference Makers. My name is Jacqueline Grant. I am your host and looking forward to sharing with you people who are making a difference in the world, sharing their journeys, whether they are from the corporate standpoint or from the entrepreneurial standpoint, sharing how they make a difference in the world and how you can do the same. It's about inspiration and education to be able to do what you want to do, be who you want to be, have what you want to have, serve whom you want to serve in this world, using your natural gifts, talents, and abilities to be able to share them with the world and really make a difference. So let's get started. I welcome you in. If you are coming on in, please put your questions into the chat so you can make sure to get your questions answered by our guest of the day. So let me do a brief introduction of our guest and let you know just how spectacular she is. Gina Campanella. She focuses on business law, healthcare regulatory and transactional matters, and commercial and residential real estate federally, as well as in the state of New Jersey, New York, where I'm from, Vermont, and Pennsylvania. She has assisted clients with transactional services and regulatory compliance consulting, as well as general counsel services to small businesses, medical practices, and large societies, as well as medical groups. She is nationally known and respected as a regulatory expert, compliance specialist, and she dedicates herself to educating physicians and healthcare professionals nationwide on issues of healthcare, transactions, and regulatory compliance. And the greatest thing, one of the many great things about her, is that she is recognized by the state of New Jersey as a super lawyer. So we're going to find out exactly what that means. But it means that she is a rising star. For many, many years, she's been recognized for her gifts and talents and abilities and how she shares those gifts with the world. So I would like to welcome to the virtual stage, Gina Campanella. Welcome aboard, Gina.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. So I thank you so much for having me. And I will reiterate again, please, anyone who's with us today, anybody who is watching this on the replay, because I know that you do have this on the replay. I have actually watched several of your episodes of Difference Makers myself on replay. Please feel free to submit your questions and ask your questions. I am always happy to entertain questions and discussion from anyone in the field. So yes, super lawyers, that's a very interesting accolade, and one that I'm quite proud of, because it is one of the few accolades where there is quite a significant vetting process that is actually undergone once you are nominated by your peers. And what they really look into is how involved you are in the professional community, how involved you are in the community at large, and what you do other than simply your legal work. So that I'm particularly proud of that recognition, because it really does go to my passion for educating about the legal issues that I work with in business law and corporate law. But it also goes to my pro bono work, charity work that has nothing to do with my law practice, and also community involvement and things of that nature. So that's what I am particularly proud of. I do take pride in being on that list. And thank you so much. I know that we had met earlier this year on a summit. I was invited to take part in one of your summits, and one of the very interesting topics that we talked about that we're going to focus a little bit on today is some of the legal implications of this new world of working from home. And we're all kind of out of our offices. We're in this new home environment. How do we really address this higher level of protecting ourselves, protecting our clients, and protecting our intellectual property and our work product while we're remote and we're not really in the office or the corporate environment we're used to? So that actually goes a little bit to my background. One of the reasons I am so passionate about working with small business owners, and one of the reasons why I, in my firm, am very dedicated to working with solo and small business owners, is because I myself am a small business owner, and I grew up in a small business owning family. So I'm very cognizant of the fact that there are a lot of resources out there that are great resources, but they're just either financially out of reach of small businesses, or quite frankly, they just can't be scaled to be appropriate for small businesses and not be completely overwhelming. So when I opened my firm in 2015, one of the main reasons I did it was because I loved my work and I loved what I did. But I really wanted to be able to take it that extra step and be able to expand my ability to work for those smaller businesses, where when I was in that bigger firm, I really wasn't able to help the smaller businesses because they either could not afford that firm that I was with, or it just simply, it couldn't be scaled down. They couldn't have a partner and 3 associates spending 10 collective hours doing 1 real hour of work for them. So now it's a very famous line I tell my clients is, look, it's don't be scared of the hourly fee. I'm going to give you a very efficient hour, and things will be done very efficiently. So first and foremost, when you are poising yourself as a small business, whether you're a new small business or you've been in business a long time, you really want to look for those resources that really are marketing themselves to you. And they're out there, okay? I know they're out there because I personally vet them and find them and seek them out for my own clients. I am in solo practice. I can't obviously do everything, okay? Anybody who says they can do everything is lying, okay? Anybody who says they can do everything is not telling the truth. But what I try to do is if there's an area of law I do not practice, I will try to vet and interview of counsel attorneys who are other attorneys who I know very well, who also have their own solo or small practice and have the same ideology of practice as I do, to work with my clients, okay? And I will also vet other small businesses. So for example, if a client comes to me, and this goes to our conversation of today, and says, okay, I no longer have my office. I'm working from a home office. I have no IT security. I have no setup at home. Nothing is secure. I don't know what to do. Don't worry. I have a fully vetted IT security company that is used to working for small businesses. I have a fully vetted hardware company, okay, that if you need hardware, you need them to come in and actually set up your office for you. If you're the type of person that's like, look, I just need someone to come in and put everything together and tell me where to sit and which button to push to turn everything on, right? They do that as well. And these are people who are used to working with small businesses. So they're not going to come in and say, oh, we need to give you the big business package and we can't scale that down. Now, one of the things when Jacqueline and I first met that she really enjoyed from our first conversation was really the legal implications that I think a lot of people don't realize about moving their work to home. Okay, and one of those major legal implications is the security not only of your client's information, but of your own work product. Okay, a lot of people now they're working on home networks. You may even be working on, the Wi-Fi at the outdoor cafe, thing like that. Okay, you are completely exposed. If you have any of your own intellectual property, okay, you could have somebody trying to take those ideas from you, those business ideas. It could be something as simple as your logo or a new product line that you're getting to roll out, or you're getting ready to roll out. It could be something as damaging as all of your clients' credit card information, okay? So you need to make sure that you have the appropriate security protocols in place. And if you're working at the cafe, have something secure on here that you can work through. The free Wi-Fi is not worth it, I promise.
Nothing is really free.
It's never really free, exactly. So one of the things about intellectual property, okay, as a small business owner, and please, as we're going forward, please don't hesitate to ask questions. I always like to get questions as I go. It helps me guide the conversation and know what people want to hear and where they want to go. So one of the things I always tell my clients, and particularly my clients who are just starting out in business, which I have had so many clients just starting out in business in the last year, because many people have either just had more time at home, okay, because especially here in New Jersey, if you're not commuting anymore, you have at least 10 hours a week back to yourself, okay? Easily. If you're not, and that's if you're commuting within New Jersey. If you're not commuting into New York City every day, you probably have more like 15 or 20 hours a week.
And here in Atlanta as well, same story.
Yeah,
at least an hour and a half each way, 3 hours you've gotten back. And this is the prime time when most businesses have started, because people have realized, I could do this.
Exactly. So I think it's the combination of that. People finally have the time to do that thing they've always wanted to do and explore that opportunity they've always wanted to explore. Unfortunately, people have been getting laid off and have been experiencing cutbacks at their jobs because of the pandemic. So it's also necessity. So I think it's just really been the perfect storm of opportunity and necessity that I've seen a lot of people calling me up and saying, I want to start my own business. I have the skills, I have the clients, but I don't know where else to start. And there really is, there's a definite list or a checklist of things that I always want my clients to do, but you don't necessarily have to do them in the exact order. But there's always things that at the forefront you want to do. And one of them is protecting your ideas and protecting your intellectual property. So if you are going to launch a new business and you've got a great name for your new business, and you've got a really creative logo that you love for your new business, something like that, before you tell anyone about it, before you, post it on Facebook and say, hey guys, what do you think? Or even tell the neighbor about it and ask their opinion before you even whisper it to anyone. You want to contact an attorney and say, hey, do me a favor, do a trademark search for this. Is anyone else using this name or something similar? Is anyone else using this logo or this service mark or something similar? Is this something that at some point I can trademark or I can get protection for? And that's a very important consideration, because you don't want to start your business with something and get all of this brand and name recognition, and then a year out realize you can't protect that intellectual property because somebody in Texas or California has a business with a similar name or a similar service mark or something like that who's already registered it, right? So now you can't register your name because they already have it registered. So your application is going to be rejected. So this is something that I always say to people, that's the last thing that I want you to put off. Okay, it seems like it's the easiest thing to put off, and it's the easiest thing to not have to worry about till later, but it's really one of the most important things to think about at the outset is, okay, well, before I even name my business and decide what my logo is going to be, and start marketing myself, at some point when I get big, and you're going to get big, you're going to have huge success. When I'm successful, and then I want to go forward and say, okay, I'm going to expand into the next state over. I'm going to start doing, interstate commerce, something like that. I'd like to register my trademark. You want to make sure that you're not going to realize once you have the brand recognition that you can't protect yourself. Okay, because once you establish your brand, that's your identity. And if you have to change that or modify that, it can be done. People have rebranded, but it's very difficult. So if you can address that at the beginning and make sure that you're starting with something clean that nobody else has, and register that from day one, you're going to be in a much better position.
I have a question for you, Gina.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
I can just hear some of my clients and some of my customers and some of my associates asking this question, and I can hear their voices in my head. There's a proliferation of people creating courses and programs. It's not their business name, but maybe they have a name of a program or a course or a consulting offering or coaching or something along that line. Does that also apply to the titles of those items as well?
There's a difference between trademark and copyright. Okay. So if you have a business name or a logo or a trade name or something like that, that's where you're going to be looking for trademark protection. And that's really the overall umbrella. And so, for example, Difference Makers, okay, that's the name of your series that you invite people such as myself to talk to your audience. To me, that would be the trademarkable element of this series. But the various titles of the different presentations, that would be something I would look more towards copyright protection for. And copyright protection is a little bit different, and it's actually easier, quite frankly. Copyright is much more dependent on just when you publish something, and you really just have to make sure you put the right notices up to put people on notice. Hey, this is my original content. I'm putting it up, and I'm putting you on notice that if I see you using it, I'm going to make a claim that you're using my original content and try to force you to stop. You can register copyrights, absolutely. But it's not always necessary. And this is something too where it is very important. There are attorneys that this is all they do, trademark and copyright work. And I do have one such attorney who is of counsel to my office. So when my clients do get to this point, I say to them, look, I'm going to give you the basics. I'm going to give you the outline. And then when we're ready to actually put together the application and file, let me get you to the specialist, because it's such a highly specialized area. And something as simple as a comma or, a definition or picking the appropriate subcategory of your trade could really turn whether or not you get that trademark granted or not. So I think the titles of training programs and things like that, those I would put more under copyright. But the actual name of the program or of the company putting out the program, that's what I would say to clients, that's what you really want to trademark, because that company can then put out more copyrighted programs or different lines of copyrighted programs and keep putting out additional material. So that's kind of how I would break that down.
Great. Thank you so very much. I know our audience definitely appreciates that, because we definitely have an audience where there's a significant subset who are authors and coaches and consultants and so forth, who put out programmatic work that is not the name of their business, but still needs to be protected. So thank you so very much for that. So again, if you are joining us live, please do put your question into the chat. I am going to take Gina backstage for just a moment with a question to kind of, I'm sure you don't really need much time to think about it, but the question that I would like to ask you when you return, Gina, is number one, how can others get in contact with you if they would like to ask more details, maybe a little more personal questions? And where is your service area so that they can know whether you can be of service to them? So we're going to take backstage for just a moment, and we'll be right back with Gina Campanella.
Excellent.
So if you know that you either want to start a business or you have already started a business and you need some legal advice, contact Gina Campanella. We'll get her information when we return. But in the meantime, you're here on LinkedIn. You're probably watching on Facebook or LinkedIn. What is the Difference Makers all about? It's how to make a difference and how to get in contact with those who you really want and need to contact to be in your business, to serve your business. You know they're out there. And how do you get in contact with them? Number one, when they make a difference in your life by seeing them on this particular platform, get in contact with them. If you can't get directly in contact with them, you can get in contact with me and I will put you in contact with them directly. But the other way is utilizing LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where all the decision makers are. If you have a product or service and you know you can serve your ideal clients in the best way possible, how do you find them? It's on LinkedIn. And if you're having trouble doing that, if you don't have a mentor or a coach that will help you and take you step by step to show you how to get new business without paid ads, without bots and monthly service fees, but actually generate real connections, real business relationships on LinkedIn, I'd like to help you with that. And I'll share where you can get that information so that you can get in contact with the people who want and need what you have to offer. It's a matter of being able to connect with the right people and not waste time, not waste money by not being in contact with those who you can truly serve. The biggest element right now is that we aren't able to network in the traditional ways, meeting in person, in groups and large events. And how do you now find those people who you can serve? It's through LinkedIn. So let me help you by going to LinkedIn Client Formula, and you can also contact me directly. I'm here on LinkedIn. You can always find me and connect with me and send me a message. But it's really about getting in contact with the right people that you can serve without paid ads and without monthly subscription fees for automated systems. Contact me and I'll be able to help you with that. But now let's get back to our guest of the day to be able to share how you can get more information from Gina Campanella.
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So my main office is in Wyckoff, New Jersey. That's northern New Jersey, right outside of New York City. And it is Campanella Law Office. My website is glcbusinesslaw.com.
Okay.
I am here on LinkedIn. I have a personal profile as well as my law firm profile. Please feel free to connect to me personally and follow the business profile. And as Jacqueline said, I am on Facebook and Instagram, and that is really how I get the word out about the firm.
Give me your website again so I can make a little banner.
Absolutely. For you. It is glcbusinesslaw.com. And my email is simply my first name, Gina, at glcbusinesslaw.com. And if anybody wanted to call me, you can call me at 201-891-3726. Okay. Happy to speak with you. My service area is New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I'm also licensed in Vermont and the District of Columbia. My main service area is New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. But for trademarking work and intellectual property work, that is national. So we do that countrywide.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think that might be one very significant area that people will want to contact you regarding and be able to ask at least those initial questions to see if it's a good fit and to see if they truly need your services, which I'm pretty sure if they're calling, they probably do. So
Absolutely.
what would you say is a maybe a closing bit of advice that you can give to our audience to be able to know what next step they should take wherever they are in their journey of entrepreneurship, whether they are still a corporate worker looking to transition to entrepreneurship
Mhm.
full or part-time, or if they have already started their business full or part-time and they're looking to move to that next level?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this is actually something I've personally been reflecting on a lot in the past year. Because I actually, and I think I told you this, Jacqueline, I have a book coming out shortly, The Inspired Entrepreneur, and it's really about my advice for that exact person. You're thinking about starting your business, or maybe you have a part-time side gig, and you're wondering, can I make this my passion? Can I make this my career? And I think what you really need to do is you need to take that step back and really do that self-reflection, and figure out, okay, is this really the direction I want to go in? Do I have the self-discipline first and foremost to do this? Okay, because it does take a lot of self-discipline to have your own business. And is this really my passion? And that's a lot of reflection and questions for yourself. Purely from the legal perspective, purely from my professional hat on, I think the questions you really have to ask yourself is, okay, what do I want my business to look like? Is it just going to be me? Is it going to be me and other people? If it is going to be me and other people, how is it going to be structured? And I always tell people, if it is going to be you and other people, that's when you really need to get an attorney involved right away. Because you never want to start a business and not have a written agreement among yourself and your partners as to how things are going to work. I often compare it to getting married. Okay. When you're engaged, everyone's in love, everything's romantic. No one can ever imagine that anything horrible is going to happen, and there may be a divorce down the road in 5, 10, 20 years. That's the time to make all the hard decisions. Okay, that's the time you get your prenuptial agreement sorted out. That's the time that you make all the decisions in your operating agreement. So if the business doesn't work out in 1, 5, 10, 20 years, everyone decided what's supposed to happen when everyone was getting along. And that will save you a lot of heartache, headaches, and quite frankly, money on the back end, because you will not have to hire lawyers and pay them a lot more money to fight over what's supposed to happen when everybody is upset and hurt and potentially angry with one another.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do. So that's really from the business owner and the business consultant perspective. You really need to have that internal reflection with yourself as far as the discipline and the drive, and if that's truly where your passion lies. And from the legal perspective, you definitely want to at least have a complimentary consultation with a business attorney, who, my feeling is, all attorneys should be willing to give a complimentary consultation. Because how do you know? I'm asking you for money before you even know if you like me. I don't like that. So I'm always happy to at least get on the phone and have a conversation about who you are and what you're about, and what we can do together, and how we can do that together. So at least always have a complimentary consultation, get an idea about how you may want to structure your business, and when you may have to do certain things to properly structure your business from the beginning, so you don't have to go back and fix mistakes when hopefully your business is taking off, and you just want to focus on doing what you love and not worrying about the legal part.
Well, this is definitely sage advice, wise wisdom from Gina Campanella, as well as the fact that this is advice you hear from many of our guests on the Difference Makers. They have been through the trials and tribulations. They've had the successes and the challenges, and they are sharing their wisdom, their experience with you, the audience. So I thank you so very much for being here, Gina. I thank you so much for being here and sharing all that you have shared to inspire and educate our audience. And I look forward to your book. Please let us know. We'll have you back on the show to be able to share about your book. But I appreciate you so very much because you, again, were a guest on one of my business summits. You're here sharing. This just speaks to the heart of who you are and how you serve. And that's the difference that you make in the lives of others. And I appreciate you because you are a difference maker and you make a difference to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Thanks for our audience joining us live as well as on replay. And we'll see you next time, Thursdays at 12 noon the other way. Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time on The Difference Makers. Thanks again so much.